Hello and good morning to our listeners from around the world. I want to welcome you again to another edition of This Morning with SoulIVITY, broadcasting live from our studio right here in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. We have an amazing show for you today. Again, it's all about our Motivational Monday. But I've got to introduce my amazing co-host to you first. I am so glad that you guys are here, Teresa Greco and D'Angelo Thompson. Good morning to both of you.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That choral good morning. Um, Again, talking about this before. We have a Motivational Monday show today, just jam packed with great inspirational stories from around the world. But before we begin, I want to remind our listeners that, listen, you are part of this conversation. If you have a comment, a question, or a thought, just post to any one of our chats on our social media, and you can be part of this conversation as well. We'll get you in on this. Teresa, what has brought you motivation this week since we last talked? Any one story you can think of?
I would say this past week, the motivation was definitely just preparing for the family party that we had yesterday.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, it was my daughter's, one of her big birthdays and my son's graduation from high school. So we had family over.
Wow.
And so that was my motivation is always them.
Oh, that's so
And yeah,
cool.
preparing for that. So
Well, we're going to send a belated happy birthday to your daughter and a congrats for graduating from high school to your son. Those are two big milestones.
Yes,
they
yes.
are. Thank you.
What about you, D? What was going on with you this week?
Well, I would say my motivation this week or last week was really just to write, and because I'm working on
Ooh.
a book or two, so
Yes.
that's what I've been doing as much as possible, taking an hour or 2 hours a day to write. So
Wow. That's really cool. I guess my motivation is something that I kind of posted on Instagram on Saturday. So you have to go to our Instagram account to see. I attended a annual charity event that's a polo event that's done by a dear friend. Hey, Fabian. Um, and that's part of the Many Hats Institute, which supports underprivileged youth with learning about like polo itself and other kinds of skill sets, and it's really diverse, and it was so much fun. Oh my gosh, it's always a blast. They tell you about the game, they teach you about the game while you're already out there. You can go up to the horses and meet the riders and the players that they have actually taught, and some of the more experienced riders that they teach actually play against pros. I mean, like world champion kind of folks. And so it's a lot of fun, and seeing that kind of unfold is always just joyful for me. So that was mine.
nice.
um, why don't we get to some of our motivational Monday topics here? This I almost want to play the theme from Jaws, like doo 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 dum 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 dum. This is a story. This is a story that comes from theweek.com, and it goes a little something like this. She's always been fascinated by sharks, and now Candace Fields is doing everything she can to save them. Fields is a PhD student at the Florida International University, and her goal is to use genetics and tracking to develop a recovery plan for the oceanic white-tip shark, a critically endangered species. Sharks have a negative reputation, and I've always been intrigued by this and wanted to get closer to them to learn more about their behavior, Fields told The Week. I want to change perspectives. Now, Fields is also a contributor to the National Geographic Shark Fest. She will be featured in the upcoming program Bull Shark versus Hammerhead. And her
Mm,
mission on and off screen is to share how sharks have been have seen serious populations declines due to overfishing, habitat loss, and climate change. She believes the tides are turning, and generally speaking, there's now much more public support for conservation and trying to help populations recover and maintain stability and avoid extinction. So, way to go, Miss Fields. All right. Candace, if you're nasty.
Right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's so interesting that usually every Monday we talk about some kind of environmental
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
story, and this one fits right in. And it's I like that we're highlighting them because it brings to our awareness how many species, because we've talked about different ones,
mhm,
Yes.
and today is the
Yes.
shark, how many
Yes.
species are being affected by, I mean, climate change. There's lots of reasons for that, but if it's happening or not, but nevertheless, the overfishing and the habitat loss, that,
Yes.
those have been issues that have affected, as I said, different species that we've highlighted. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this one just falls under that category as well.
Yeah, sharks really play a
hmm,
significant role in the oceanic ecosystem, which affects everything else,
mhm,
right? I think that people don't, I think they see Jaws and Sharknado and all these kind of things, and then they think that that's, maybe they think that that's the world of Sharkdom or whatever you want to call it.
mhm,
But it's a lot more than that. I highly recommend. I just put the link in the to this story in the chat. I highly recommend people go out and read it. Dee, what
mhm,
about you? I mean, I know you're into conservation, and this is, you always love learning new things as well. What are
mhm.
your thoughts about this one?
I've been very fascinated lately. I don't know if you guys know on the East Coast here, there have been a
Yeah,
lot of shark sightings.
yeah,
Last week
yeah,
in particular, there were close to 100 sharks close to the shore
yeah.
in Long Island, New Jersey, even further down. So it
Mm-hmm.
says that something drastically is shifting, not only sharks, but whales and
Mm-hmm.
otters and et cetera, et cetera. So something definitely, there's a sonar going out in the ocean like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if they don't want to take care of us, we're going to show them who we are.
you, get a little nip, right? It's just a
Yeah,
little nip,
and
not a
really,
bite, but a little nip. Get out
that's
the
what they've
water.
been doing. They've been nipping people, not biting or taking off a leg, which is kind of
Hmm.
interesting, you know,
Hmm.
because they're looking for food. They're not necessarily looking for humans. They're looking
Right,
for wherever their food source. They're part of that food chain, right?
Mhm.
right.
And
From
and the
mhm.
food is moving closer in because of the warm weather.
I would love if there's someone who's either even after we do this show, if they could post on our live stream or even email us. I heard that actually sharks don't really like human meat. They don't like the taste of it,
Mhm.
Mm,
which is one reason why they don't like they may like attack and like nip or whatever, but they're not like trying to like eat, right? They
Mhm.
like what they have grown up around, and that's fish and that kind of deal. um
Yeah, it says that too in the article that that's
yeah,
their
yeah.
research. Yeah, that it says they have a preference for specific foods
Hmm.
and they have preferences for the time of day they go hunting.
Oh, well, there you go.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
Thank you, Truth. I forgot that was in here. Well, there
yeah,
you go.
they
Yeah, I
can.
mean, it's fascinating. I look at like sharks like I look at wolves in different ecosystems. Like, you know, we've actually here in the United States, well, actually in Canada too, with the great white wolf, um, deer, they've been like killing off wolves because wolves can attack humans, right? But the deer population
Mhm.
has exploded, and humans can't like hunt enough deer to control the population, and the only way to control it is to actually have the wolves actually be preserved because
Right.
they are the natural predator of deer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I look at like sharks are the same kind of thing where there's this delicate balance that has to happen, and sharks
Mhm.
play a very important role in that balance of
Mhm.
how many different species are in the ocean at a given time. Like you can't have too many of one or it throws
Mhm.
the ecosystem off,
Mm-hmm.
which actually even beyond food, what I've read is that it harms, like it can affect climate change, right? More like certain things that are in the ocean, either poop or algae or whatever it is, grow because there's this imbalance,
Yeah, it's like
right?
the pH balance in the human body, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So you can't, you got to make sure that
Mhm.
you're staying up on this stuff, everybody. I mean, this is important. I mean, believe it or not, we love our sharkies and we
Mm-hmm.
want them to kind of like be around for a
Mhm.
long, long, long,
Mhm.
long time and keep our planet healthy,
They're
because that's
ancient. They're ancient creatures.
ancient, 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 ancient.
So we have to coexist, you know.
Exactly.
And I think that's the biggest crux for all of us is coexisting not only with each other,
Mm-hmm.
but with other
Mm-hmm.
species, you know.
Mm-hmm. 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 Absolutely. um let's see here. Let's see. Da, 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 da.
Well, Brian, I wanted to just say that it's true what you said, because
Mhm.
in the article it also states that it is considered in the population structure of the aquatic ecosystem that they are one of those large predators. And
Mm.
so absolutely that, whatever it eats, if it's not eating it, then it starts to overpopulate. We have problems. And we don't know the problems, right? Because that's not our ecosystem.
Right.
Humans. So
Exactly.
we only see the problems once it starts affecting something that we eat
Mhm.
or something like
Mhm.
that. The same thing with the story last week, with the kelp and
Yeah.
them using a natural solution to help. So I'm so grateful that there are people that are interested, so passionately interested in things that I am not. And I'm like, thank God that you're interested in that. I'm not interested in it. I care about it, but I'm not like super passionate, right? But here she
Right.
is dedicating like her time, or she's a PhD student that studying this. And I'm like, thank God for you. Like
Mhm.
we are all needed,
Right.
Yes.
because of our particular interests
Yes.
and passions. And so I just think I'm like, thank goodness for this student that's doing this, because I'm not dedicating my time to this. But we need people that can and do. So thank goodness for her.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Well, listen, everybody. This is how we do it on Mondays with our Motivational Monday. We got 3 more great stories coming up in a second. This next one is going to actually just warm your heart, because how can you not love any story that includes puppies? So we'll be right back in about 60 seconds.
Perfect.
6 years ago, when I started SoulIVITY, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit SoulIVITY.com now.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, The Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on SoulIVITY TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
Absolutely. You can catch Teresa every Thursday at 12 noon right here on SoulIVITY TV,
That's great.
where she's going to be talking about alternative healing practices. Yay, Teresa. This is Motivational Monday, and I'm joined by some special people today. My co-host Teresa Greco and D'Angelo Thompson. Good morning again to both of you. Why don't we keep moving on to one great story? I already kind of previewed it. It includes puppies. Again, how can you not love puppies?
Yes.
It goes a little something like this.
Uh-huh.
It was the perfect 100th birthday for a lifelong dog devotee. Robert Moore hit the milestone of June 14th, and his daughter, Allison Moore, wanted to do something big. She decided it needed to involve dogs, but because he just loves them, she told the Washington Post. Using social media, Allison invited her neighbors in San Jose, California, to stop by his house with their pups. She planned on having Robert sit outside so he could pet the pooches as they walked by, and expected about 30 participants. The Moore family was stunned when more than 200 dogs of all breeds and ages arrived, with many of their owners also bringing flowers, cards, and cupcakes. Allison enjoyed every moment watching Robert greet the dogs and give them treats. Strangers did this for my dad, she said. It was just so sweet, and my dear dad deserves it. Oh, talk about big heart emoji moment. This is so cool, right, guys?
Oh my God. And if they go and they check out the link, they could see all the great pictures that were posted.
Yeah.
Then it really tells the story. Like it's like, oh yeah, that's a lot of dogs, 200 dogs. But then you get to see him, and you get to see the dogs dressed up, the signs that they made, and the people. It's such a great story. I really invite people to click on the link because then it brings you more in the mood. Excitement of the story.
And this, you see a couple of them a little bit with the bow tie, this little dog with the bow tie on and that kind of thing. Going to see Robert, hey, on his 100th birthday. D'Angelo, I know you like dogs, right?
I love animals.
Yeah.
What's interesting, I did read this a few weeks ago, and it was a dog parade, which is beautiful. His joy was really beautiful. He just wanted good energy,
Yeah.
for the next 25 or 50 years, who knows, but it was beautiful, very beautiful.
Wow. She said her father, this is Allison Moore, he said her father, who's the Dean of Applied Sciences and Arts at the San Jose State University for 25 years, was deeply touched by the turnout.
Oh.
He was so overwhelmed. He was just so sweet and talking to the kids and petting all the dogs and saying their names. It was so much fun.
Wow.
Oh, it's those things, they matter so much.
The little thing, that's really a little ask, really, if you really think about it. He didn't say, I want,
I want a Ferrari and a trip to
I want people and their pets to come by and say hello. That's beautiful.
Wow.
And I think it's nice that stuff like this goes viral.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
contagious, right? That this is the
Yes.
type of stuff that I like to hear goes viral and is
Yeah.
contagious, because sometimes it's not always the case. It's a lot of negative and yucky
Mhm.
stuff that seems to, flow over in like Facebook groups and the different places that she posted this ask for people to come, and that people were so touched by it and took time out of their day to be a part of it. One of the interesting parts too was that there was a gentleman who has Alzheimer's,
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
and his daughter brought he's 93, I believe,
Mhm.
and sorry, 88,
Mhm.
and he's in this geriatric recliner because I don't who knows what parts of of his body's been affected by that.
Mhm.
But he came and had, like, it said it didn't only just make his day, it made his entire year.
Wow.
It was amazing that it not only was for, the birthday boy, let's say, but that those who came also had an such an impact and had such a great day attending it too.
Doesn't it? I mean, it. We are really all connected. I can't stress that enough, right? That when we invite that joy into our lives and we invite people to share in that joy, that it's just infectious, and that you can't help but like smile and feel better and
Mhm.
feel alive in all this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, here's this here you have two men who are in the twilight of their life, just completely overwhelmed by joy,
Hmm.
right? And that they'll take this into the next life, and on the other side of the veil, and that the other people that were around them will remember that moment forever. The person that you were talking about, Teresa, was saying that they were the first ones there and the last ones to leave.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's
Wow.
beautiful.
Mm.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. And this is why we do Motivational Mondays, everybody.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
want to, there's so much stuff that's out here, that's out on other important news outlets, that, I want to make sure that people understand that they play a role, and you need to be up on current events and that kind of thing. But there's other current events that are out here
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
never get any love, that we don't talk about, and that this is why we're doing this. And
Valid.
so, you know, we've got another great story that's coming up, that involves, um, the tireless efforts of researchers to help, make us feel well through the use of vaccines. And there's a new vaccine for tuberculosis that might be out on the horizon. So we're going to talk
Mhm.
about that in right after we come back from this next break. So we'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Hey there, this is Brian with SoulIVITY.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by SoulIVITY. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by SoulIVITY is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoyed the Aspire Academy by SoulIVITY today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life.
And we're back with more of This Morning with SoulIVITY and my fantastic co-hosts Teresa and D'Angelo. We're talking about some Motivational Monday stories because this is how we do it. There's another fantastic story that we're going to talk about that comes from the world of medicine and theguardian.com. And it goes a little something like this. Researchers are moving forward with phase 3 trials of a potential tuberculosis vaccine, which experts say would be a game changer. The M72 AS01E vaccine was developed by GlaxoSmithKline, and in phase 2B trials conducted in 2018 showed it was 50% effective. The company did not do any further trials, citing the market. And in 2020, the license was passed to the Bill and Melinda Gates Medical Research Institute. The nonprofit was an investor in the vaccine and is now pledging more than $400 million for the final trials. Every year, tuberculosis kills 1.6 million people around the world. And if this vaccine is approved for use, it will be the first new vaccine created since 1921 for tuberculosis. The development of an affordable, accessible vaccine for adults and adolescents would be game changing in the turning the tide against tuberculosis, says Julia Gillard, chair of the Global Charitable Foundation. Welcome. And she told this to The Guardian. Wow. I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, I think that people don't, again, this is something that a lot of people don't really know. And that is tuberculosis kills a whole bunch of folks. Like we just said, it's 1.6 million people every single year. It's also something that is tested for when doing new treatments like Remicade and Humira and other things for people who suffer from like uh, 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 you know, inflammatory diseases and arthritis and other things, because it makes them more susceptible for tuberculosis. And if you have it in your system and you take this, literally it could kill you, right? But again, people are doing tireless work trying to move us forward, and beyond the debate about vaccines and the development of vaccines and whether or not it's the symptoms are worse than the vaccine itself or whatever. The fact that people are still doing this work and trying to keep people healthy is a good thing, and save people's lives, because this is what this work is about. Specifically this one, right? Again, because people have been dying from this affliction. It hasn't really changed all that much. I mean, since I was a kid. I know, D'Angelo, you're the same age as me, basically. So I know you remember those days when they even had commercials on TV about TB.
I may plead the fifth on this one. There's I'll say two things. Yes, it's helping TB in other countries that TB is common.
Yeah,
I do know that California had a small outbreak of TB when I lived there.
Wow.
It was pre-COVID, and I started hearing about it. So they were telling people be careful.
Right.
It was predominantly in downtown LA, which is a huge homeless population.
Oh my God.
So I am aware that it is in the States as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
small, minute percentage. And that's all I'll say. I
Right.
think
Right.
all I'm going to put into this.
Right. Right. And understandably, I mean, again, these are really these are complex kinds of discussions, Teresa, where there's a lot of misinformation about these things, but there's also factual information that people need to know. And D'Angelo, to your point, there's disparate circumstances based upon where you live, right? And so, Teresa, what was your kind of reaction to this particular story?
I try to put myself in the place of the areas that are hardest hit
Yeah, yeah,
by this
yeah,
illness,
yeah,
right? Which is Africa and Asia.
yeah,
And then there are parts of Europe as well. But because of international travel, then it floats into other areas, right?
yeah.
Just as COVID spread
Right.
around very quickly because of people are moving, people are carrying stuff around, and then
Hmm.
it ends up getting into other places.
Yeah.
So, as I think it's great that there are people that, again, are passionate about their work and, the scientists and researchers that are involved in the development of different types of treatments.
Yeah.
I commend them and I thank them for, their tireless efforts in trying to help humanity
Hmm.
in whatever way they can. And I just think that it's amazing that there's money that's being dedicated to helping humanity,
Hmm.
um, in where whatever areas those are. My feelings around the vaccine would just be that, as long as they offer people the choice
Hmm.
in those areas to take it,
Hmm.
and that the proper research gets done, that they don't just release
Yeah. Yeah.
vaccines
Absolutely.
that haven't been properly tested. Like, I
Hmm.
believe now with this new money that's being dedicated, this final trial should take, I think it's something like 3 to 5 years,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
before anything, else could happen around this. So, yeah, that would just be my thoughts, is that my thanks, but,
Hmm.
as well giving people the choice, to participate or to take it or not to take it,
Hmm.
and, that the proper research gets done.
Mhm.
Very all sound points. All
Thank
sound points. Again, I highly recommend that people go read the article, and learn more about this vaccine. And I think you both kind of brought up one very very important point, and it was the reason why I brought this article forward. We are not specifically people in the Western world, right? Beyond Europe, like people in North America, don't know enough about what's happening on the continent of Africa, right?
Mhm.
And that the people that are dying because of diseases like that in other places are not, it's not happening, um is because of poverty and other factors, and that if we give them support, they won't have to die, right?
Right.
And so just bringing awareness to that, to those people and their plight, and understanding that we're all connected. We're
Mhm.
all connected, y'all. So
you.
learn more about what's happening there. Read this article. Become more aware. And if you can make a difference, make a difference.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
and like
know.
you said, Brian, where the issue is for TB, which is Africa, parts of Asia, and Central America,
Yes.
that's where the focus should be. I don't think it should be a mandated vaccine. Is my point.
No. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, um, right now, I mean, again, I agree with you, Teresa, around this, where there needs to be a lot of testing and a lot, and that we can't just be giving, mandating and giving people this vaccine, especially if we don't know what the outcomes are going to be, especially that part.
Mm-hmm.
And even after we know the outcomes, give people the choice, right? To be able to take it or not take it. And if they don't do it, give those people some structure around what to do, how not to contract the disease and that kind of thing, because they also need that, right? So make sure that people have all the information and then let them make an informed decision,
Right. Mm-hmm.
right? Again, this is what we do here, because this is all motivational here. We want to bring more of these kind of uh, stories and give you a peep into people's lives that'll help you motivate you throughout your week. We're going to take a really, really, really quick break, and when we come back, we'll have our last story, which is about some people in San Diego that are really transforming their yards into wonders of beauty. So we'll be back
Love it.
in about 60 seconds.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame. Living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. SoulIVITY is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
And we really want you to go check out the new SoulIVITY.com, which has been reimagined for even more stories on passion, purpose, and creating your best life today. We've got our last story, which I cannot believe it's our last story today for Motivational Monday. I'm like, oh, I wish this would go on forever. But this comes from the Los Angeles Times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great story, in fact, that it goes a little something like this. Rachel Nafis transformed her street into a floral wonderland. Nafis lives in the City Heights section of San Diego, and 8 of her neighbors have allowed the urban farmer to turn their yards into gardens. She takes care of everything from planting to watering, and the flowers she cuts are sold through her small business, Salter Farm Flowers.
Oh, wow.
Nafis launched the farm in 2019 for 2 reasons: to make responsibly grown flowers available in San Diego and add charm to an area in need of a boost. She's taught us that all neighborhoods can be beautiful, Sophia Thompson, who volunteered her yard for the farm, told the Los Angeles Times. What's in a bloom changes with the seasons, and Nafis conserves water with drip systems and timers. She also subsidizes her neighbors' water bills. Wow, that's so cool. Nafis is grateful for this creative shared land model, and she says she experiences euphoria while tending to the gardens. How cool is that? Just to give people a little taste of what these look like, let's share a couple photos here. Here's a row of dahlias growing in Tom Weaver's backyard.
Beautiful.
Weaver donated his front and backyards to his neighbor, and this is what she came up with. Here's a couple more photos. Sunflowers that are there. These beautiful, beautiful azaleas are growing. And look at this. This is Sophia Thompson's, and so she's she's doing more, so you see those beautiful flowers there, and
Mhm.
even more is coming in.
And the flowers, the ones that she's selecting are the ones that typically like don't transport well.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so their people are able to get like the freshest flowers. She says they smell amazing because literally people that get to have them in their bouquets or arrangements that they've been cut 12 to 24 hours prior. And so there's just a smell that gets lost in transport,
Mhm.
unfortunately. And even I had some roses that were given to me for my birthday, and I love roses in particular, because they're maybe one of my most favorite flowers. Where they look, but how they smell is like I could just go by and just my arrangement and just put my nose into it like over and
Right.
over again because I love how they smell.
Right.
Mhm.
And they are actually breeding them with no smell.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Like,
Wow.
Mhm.
Mother Nature is incredible.
Right.
Incredible. It has things that we couldn't, like, to say we could never manufacture from scratch, right? Fine,
Mhm.
now we monkey around with it, and you're taking the smell away?
Smell out,
Why
right?
would
Yeah.
why would we ever want to do that?
Just buy some plastic flowers then, if that's what you're gonna
No.
do.
Oh, pa.
Or dried ones,
Right
or dried
now,
ones.
love that she is
Please.
building community, you know? She's building,
Yeah.
and she's also, and I know a lot of young people that are wanting to just get off the grid, buy acreage and create farms and self-sustain,
Right.
It's beautiful, and I can see what she's doing, and bravo.
You know, um, like we saying before, she uses everything that she's doing with her with this work with her neighbors is uh, environment friendly. She doesn't use any chemicals.
Hmm.
She says she also uses a no-till method that conserves water, feeds the soil, and creates a natural habitat for birds and beneficial insects.
Hmm.
It's funny because you guys know that I've been working on the front and backyard here at my home, beautifying things. I love having like, beautiful plants and flowers, my wife as well. But I was out the other day early in the morning, uh, giving them a little drink, right? Giving the plants a little drink of water, and I noticed immediately. I was like, "Wow, okay." There's beautiful like bees around. There's a few butterflies that were around, and it was like, "Wow, okay." So I'm attracting to me this beautiful concert of nature into my living space, and that's what she's doing with the neighbors there in San Diego, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Another
Mm.
another part of the story which we haven't mentioned is that she was an ER nurse
Yes,
Hmm.
yes,
during the
yeah,
pandemic
yes.
and basically found it way too hard that they were asking her to work overtime under the circumstances, and her
Yeah,
husband was also working. They have 3 kids,
right.
super stressful, and that she decided to leave the profession and to do this work, and is finding it very fulfilling.
Hmm.
But it also just speaks to the challenges and hardships that people that were deeply involved in the healthcare profession during that time,
Hmm.
how strenuous it was, and that people did leave because it was hard, and luckily she didn't manage to find something that she loves again, that she's passionate about, and then is bringing so much joy to the neighbors who are and not only the ones that are dedicating their homes, but just to the neighborhood in general.
Hmm.
Right,
Hmm.
right, 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 right. Um, and this is what life is all about, right? I mean, this is what it. She's here. She's doing this great work. Um, she's helping lift people out of, you know, their day to day. And
Mhm.
when they come home, it's like, imagine coming home to these beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful gardens and this energy that's there and the smell, right?
Mhm.
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 And it just, man, and I'm sure that block, the the community has just probably come together as well because of it,
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
you know. Well, that's our last story for
Mhm.
today for I know, right? It's like, oh no, I don't want it to ever end. But listen, this is how we do it every and Monday. We invite you to come back on next Monday where we're going to be talking more about these stories. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with even more of This Morning with SoulIVITY. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hi there, Sheila Applegate here with some exciting news. I've joined the incredible SoulIVITY team as the host of the new Consciously Awesome live show, where I will be sharing insights to help you discover your full brilliance and claim the vibrant life you deserve. So, tune in every Wednesday right here on SoulIVITY TV to join the fun, and remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Yes, yes, yes. You can catch another Consciously Awesome Living, where Sheila's going to be talking about a wonderful subject, compassion. It's Wednesdays at 12 noon, right here on SoulIVITY TV. Why don't we get to another part of the show, which I love? It's shameless plugs, plugs, plugs. And we'll go to you, Teresa, first. Your 6 weeks of mental freedom is something that we're really trying to get people to sign up for. It's something that is going to be an amazing experience. And even better, it's for an amazing price. So, Teresa, can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes, so this is an $1,800 program regularly
Yeah.
being offered for only, well, the first cohort and during the summer, because I know sometimes during the summer it can be a bit difficult to
Right.
fit additional things into all the fun things that people have planned. So if they could participate in this, they're getting it at Brian. What price?
150, only
Yeah.
$150.
So
I mean, yeah, there's a
you
link in the chat. I mean, go get it, people. This is, Teresa, this is an amazing, amazing program.
in
And
just absolutely in just 6 weeks, you each week will be learning and being given a tool that will help you to pretty much deal with any situation that comes up in your life. The
right,
program has been designed by a woman who has been in the coaching and training industry her entire life, designed it so that in just 6 weeks, you are being given tools that can help you to help yourself,
right.
which is why I love it so much, is that
Mhm.
you'll be able to, as I said, tackle any situation using one of these tools. So you're able to grab it at a fantastic rate. So I encourage people to take a look.
Absolutely. And
Great. That's
we included it in the link in our chat. Please go out and get this. And there's limited space, by the way, too. So make sure that
Mhm.
that you do this soon because the enrollment for this is going to close.
Yes.
D'Angelo, you've got a couple of amazing things. I'm just like, wow. We'll start with your Gratitude as a Journey podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about the podcast itself and what people can expect?
Yes, for my podcast, Gratitude is a Journey, I do it every other day, and it's about 2 to 5 minutes about things I'm grateful for. And
Mhm.
then we talk about it, just like as simple as I'm grateful for having an air conditioner.
Right?
I'm being silly right now, but
No, but it's true.
Mhm.
into the little things and then also the bigger things in our lives and understanding the process of gratitude.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that link is also in our chat for people to go listen now.
Mhm.
Also, you've got a fantastic workshop that's coming up on October
30th.
30th. Okay.
Yes. So the art of pivoting, part of my series with Kent State University for the past 3 semesters, going to my 4th one, has been with junior and senior students. And what I've been teaching them is like, no matter what you're studying, you have to understand that you will pivot in your career and throughout your career. So this
Important point.
workshop is not only for young people, but for people who are pivoting in their lives. So the art of pivoting workshop is October 30th.
Wow,
Awesome.
fantastic. That's awesome, man.
I should say this, it's in a tri-state area. So it's in New York City. So if you live in a tri-state area, it'll be much easier to get to.
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
So if you're in the tri-state area in New York, please go register for this, because this is going to be something really, really good.
Thank
And that's true. We do. I don't know of anybody who hasn't pivoted. You
Mhm.
know, even if they've pivoted to something that's adjacent to what they currently do, that as you grow and learn, you evolve, right? And so this is a great, great, great workshop that'll help people learn how, as they go through that evolution,
Mhm.
learn how to pivot in a positive, progressive, and practical way as well.
Yes, yes.
And the last story we talked about was an example of
Absolutely.
she had to
Yes,
pivot.
Teresa.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Want to remind people again, go check out the new SoulIVITY.com. It's been reimagined for even more great stories on passion, purpose, and creating your best life today. There's even some great columns by Teresa Greco and D'Angelo Thompson there as well that you want to read. And it's all for you. While we're closing out today's show, I want to remind everybody, listen, please follow us on social media. We're on all the major platforms, including now Threads. We're on Threads too.
Nice.
So go check us out. Join our mailing list by visiting the This Morning with SoulIVITY site at soulivity.com/this-morning. And just on behalf of all of us, I want to say thank you for joining us again for another great episode of This Morning with SoulIVITY. We hope that you come back and join us every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our live broadcast, or you can listen Thursdays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific time on KMET 1490 AM for all of you out on the West Coast. It's 9 a.m. Pacific time on Thursdays and Fridays for all of you out on the West Coast. So good to have you both here.
Thank
so
you.
good to be here. Thank you.
You both were my motivation today.
Oh, thank
Aw.
you. You as well, Brian.
Listen, everybody, until next time, keep having real conversations with passion and purpose, and create a life full of high quality living today. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.